fruitful with your kingdom, Lord. Amen.
Amen. Cool. Me.
Oh, we live.
Yo,
Live.
let us get in here real quick. Let me stop the. I wish there was a good transition to be able to get in here. Oh wait.
Oh snap, we here.
There we
I don't know if
go.
y'all saw that, but if you saw it, bro, I hope y'all like that little intro. You know, Lige been cooking up. You know.
Yo, we working it out. You know what I mean? We trying to get better, trying to step our game up, trying to be better than Ruslan. You know.
Hey yo, Ruslan, come on here, bro. Come on here, yo. Defend yourself.
Hey, I mean, if you come on here, definitely we're gonna be popping for real. But you know,
John Keith next. John Keith. I mean, what?
no big deal, bro. Come on, now, bro. Bro, honestly, bro, like I wanna let's just talk about all the heat that dropped last weekend, bro, from CHH,
Yeah.
bro. But we could talk about it another time. But bro, I've been vibing ever since, so it's
Bro,
crazy.
I mean, bro. DJ Lost and Found.
Yo,
DJ
take it
Lost and
over.
Found. Yo, that man really took over, bro. Like, that album was the best album of the year out of CHH, bro. Hands down.
Legit, bro. Like what I've been bumping. What is it? Back to the Wall and Autopilot, bro. I'm just like, bro, this is describing my life, bro. Come on now.
Yo, bro, the song that we played on live with Big Lank, bro. I actually reached out to Big Lank, bro. That John was fire, bro. He could really spit, bro. He could really. What was it? Give My All. I think that was the name of the song.
Yo, come on now. Yo, I bangs with that.
Bro, DJ Lost and Found took it to a different level, bro. I like one thing I gotta say, bro, is like to chart as an independent artist, bro. And it's not like DJ Lost and Found was getting thousands and thousands and thousands of streams prior, right? You know, he's on the come up, right? You know, I think he had like 5,000 monthly listeners or 3,000 before this album dropped or something like that.
Yeah.
And bro, to go from that to charting, bro, for the album chart, bro, that's work, bro. That's work.
It's different. It's different,
bro. he deserves every recognition he getting right now, bro.
Yo,
all of CHHS came together from this album, bro.
Literally, bro. And it just sounds so good, bro. Like from start to finish, bro. It's like it's really good. It's like it's great quality, bro.
Bro, honestly, ever since we did that interview with DJ Lost and Found, bro, like I felt like a lot of people have reached out to me. I've reached out to a lot of people on that album and everything. And like, yeah, bro, I feel like it really is. One thing that DJ Lost and Found said about this album, he set out to do was get unity in the body, right? Unity in CHH. And I feel like it really worked, bro. Cause like conversations have been opened up because of this album, that I've never seen before. You know what I'm saying? Less competition amongst the brothers and a lot of brothers building up the brothers. And I think, honestly, bro, this album's fire, bro.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
Bro, but yo, with DJ Lost and Found, shout out to Paris Cariz and Not Clyde, bro, because they dropped some heat too. And
I think Selah dropped too, bro.
Bro, like so much good quality content has just come out from CHH, bro. It's just like, wow, this is crazy, bro. Like I literally was surprised about Not Clyde's EP, because literally he pretty much put everyone on that I've been listening to for like ever since I found out about CHH. I'm just like, bro, like you definitely grew up in my generation, bro. Because like, ain't no way you had Foggy Raw, Paris Cariz, No Big Deal, What Up RG. Who else do you have on there? He had and 1K Few. I'm just like, bro, you're definitely of my generation, bro.
Bro, you know what's crazy, bro? With Foggy Raw, somebody I worked with, right? I pulled up Foggy Raw's like profile on my phone on Instagram one day, and the guy was like, "Yo, that's my cousin, bro." Like I was like, "Me, bro, that's your cousin." He's like, "Yeah, that's my cousin, bro. I've been listening to his music for a minute." I was like, "Yo, chill, bro."
Yo,
small world, bro.
That's wild. Anyway, shout out to CHH. That's not the topic of today's
topic,
pod.
bro? What's the topic, bro?
But we are talking about some scandal today, bro. We are talking about some crazy stuff that's going on in the body. Well, it may not actually be crazy. Honestly, it's not that crazy to me. But for some people, they probably do think it's crazy. So we are talking about Matt Chandler today. And there's been some this happened about a week, 2 weeks ago now. Some things happened within Matt Chandler and his personal life and also his church too, and it's been setting the Christian community ablaze lately. YouTubers talking about it. We are amongst the Christian YouTubers that are talking about it. And honestly, we trying to get some clicks and views. So subscribe to the pod, you know what I mean? But honestly, like we do want to talk about this because I think is a really important issue that's happening, right? And especially with celebrity pastor culture. I think it's something really good to talk about when we have like pastors left and right falling from whatever that they're doing in their personal lives and coming to light, and we want to cover it. So, Chad, bro, how are you feeling about this Matt Chandler situation happening today, or just within the past week?
So it actually hits really home for me because I actually go to an Acts 29 church. You know, Matt Chandler is the president of the Acts 29 ministries, right? So like every pastor at my church or a sister church of ours, like they all kind of like follow the Matt Chandler look, profile, sound, like they sound like him. They preach the same exact doctrines as him. So I am pretty much in that Matt Chandler camp. You know, like I'm one of those people, you know how like we made fun of the people with the Johnny Mac situation, like
Yeah.
he no wrong. That's like Matt Chandler for me. It's like Matt
Hey,
Chandler could do no wrong for me, bro. So it's like yeah, it's like when you think of like I guess modern day heroes in the faith, for me, one of these guys is Matt Chandler, right? Like it's definitely Matt Chandler. Like I get a lot of my doctrine from Matt Chandler, a lot of my teaching, but a lot of my beliefs I've learned from Matt Chandler. So it hits very home for me because like yeah, just because that's what I'm used to, right? So with that being said, it's like a lot of times when we hear scandals, when we hear issues in Christendom, the last person I would think of is Matt Chandler. So like when I heard there's something up in Matt Chandler, I immediately tuned in because I was like what could he possibly done, you know, for it to be to this extent. But yeah, we'll get more into that after. But yeah, that's kind of like my initial reaction to it, you know.
For sure. And kind of for anyone that's listening or will listen to this after the recording is done, I want to kind of just give a summary of kind of what happened, right? So this is reading this all from kind of statements from the church itself, from the village church, right? Um, so a woman approached Matt Chandler at the village church and with concerns about how he was communicating with a friend of hers. And he told the congregation he didn't think he'd done anything wrong, but it seems like they were just DMing really frequently. And the DMing wasn't a secret, right? His wife knew about the DMing. The husband of the other woman knew about the DMing too. And to Matt's knowledge, the conversation didn't really seem appropriate, right?
He was actually yeah, and he was actually a little shocked too when the lady approached him saying that it could have been inappropriate or something like that, right?
Yeah. It honestly, when I was preparing for this and I was reading this, I was just like,
this don't make no sense at all, right?
I'm like, first, it don't make no sense. And first of all, why is it that like this woman is coming up on the defense of like, you know, this other woman that really didn't see anything wrong with what they were saying and saying like, oh, you might be doing something wrong here. Honestly, this is Sinners Only podcast, right? I just think she was honestly hating. Anyway,
she was tripping out, yeah, for real.
She was tripping out, and she decided just to bring this up to Matt. And with all this, right, Matt, he brought it up to his wife and to his elders, right? And it says here that the church they hired a law firm to kind of review Chandler's use of the social media and including the direct messages and as well as his phone texts and emails and the firm and everything like that, right? And pretty much it was decided that Matt Chandler did nothing, right? Like, but except they did conclude that he did violate the church's social media use policy. I don't know if that policy is available online or anything like that.
Probably
but
not.
Yeah, and so saying and when he addressed the church, he says live, right? It was that our conversations were unguarded and unwise, and because I don't ever want there to be any secrets between us, the concerns were really about frequency and familiarity, whatever that means, right? And Chandler said, we believe in brother-sister relationships here, and yet there was a frequency that moved past that, and there was familiarity that played itself out in coarse and foolish joking. Is befitting to someone in my position. So I guess the first question I want to ask, right, is did he violate biblical standards, right, for I guess as an elder and pastor in a way that he's is to be interacting with his people?
Okay, so so you're asking, did he violate, like, I guess, like, in terms of biblically, right? Not from a spiritual standpoint, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess if I have to answer this, I don't think he did anything wrong. I feel like the major concern of people was that he's held to a higher standard,
Mm,
because he is a pastor. But I mean, it's a sticky situation, right?
yeah.
Maybe again, I'm not the wisest person on this, but I feel like maybe it is a Romans 14 issue where it's like some
Mm,
people can't, 'cause some
yeah.
people can't, like you just can't do that, right? And some people they could. Take that for a grain of salt if you're listening, because I'm just going along with maybes right now, right? So yeah, I mean, to him, he had no issue, right? He had no issue. He had no conviction, nothing, right? Um, and I think he reacted in the right way.
Yeah.
He showed it to his wife immediately. He showed it to the elder board, and it was really up to the elders to decide if he did something wrong. And that's why we have this elder board, right? That's why we have these qualifications for elders and things like that. So this way, when things like this happen, it's there's a checks and balances in place.
For sure.
I feel like they did a good job at calling it out. I've heard a lot of people on the internet say that he's not. They didn't make him do like the temporary stepping down on for this. This is just added to different things that the church has been discussing for a long time.
For sure.
Um,
Yeah.
and he's seeking therapy. Like they sent him to therapy. I think they sent him to retrain or something like that. Do some like more training and therapy and stuff like that. So I think this could be a culmination of a bunch of different things. But at the same time, I do think it was heavily the media blowing it out of proportion.
Facts.
Because I feel like Matt Chandler, as I said before, is one of those guys where he's not really doesn't fit into that to that thing where that you can really get him for a lot of things. He lives a pretty decent life above reproach. And
Yeah.
it was just kind of like one of those things where it's like, all right, now we got something on him, so
For,
let's play that up a little bit.
for sure. Like I think looking at it from like kind of our culture's like current culture's climate right now, right? You have this like you have this white male that's really I guess famous, right, for his preaching and teaching of Christianity, right? And now you see this like sort of quote unquote scandal or something happening, right? And now you have the media culture, you have Twitter set on fire, pretty much saying like, "Oh, bet like we always knew this, whatever." Now it's just a matter of
Mm.
time. Like you have the heresy hunters pretty much calling Matt Chandler a false teacher now, right? And it's like from what they said, right? Like the elders were involved. It's not like the elders are being malicious and what
Yeah.
they're and hiding stuff, right? And Matt Chandler, his wife, the husband of the woman, knew everything that was going on. I'm pretty sure they were in on the process, and and literally, I think they find no fault in Matt Chandler, right? But you just have other people pretty much doing hearsay, right? You have people speculating and pretty much kind of gossiping and saying that, oh, bet this is something that it really wasn't, or something that they had no idea about. You know what I mean? Which
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
is honestly really weird about our culture. It's like you kind of want to see like, these
The
people
next
that are
man
like,
fall.
yeah, you want to see the next man fall, bro. And it's like, and I honestly, like, you can probably ask any Christian out there that knows of Matt Chandler, right? That they would say like Matt Chandler's solid, right? He's a solid guy, right? And but to see this kind of this shift of like, oh, like we want to see him fall now. It's kind of weird.
Lies. We just gotta be honest, bro. We know why they hate Matt Chandler, bro. His defense of people of color, bro. Like,
Come on,
yo, I had to, bro. I had to just say it on live, bro.
if we keep it in a buck, bro, this is something that you want to hang this man for. It's just like it's just kind
They've
of
been
weird,
waiting for him to slip up in a bit, bro. Just a little bit, bro.
bro. It's
Like,
it's it's kind of crazy because like actually, if it's Johnny Mac, bro, we just like a few months ago, Johnny Mac was just in something like this, bro, and every single person came to this man's defense, bro. And it's just like y'all want to see this, man fall because he defends colored people, bro. Come on now, we talk about the wrong stuff, bro. Come on.
bro. I'm that's what I'm saying, bro. I ain't hear nobody else say it. I just had to say it. I had to put it out there, bro.
Honestly, to keep it a buck, bro, because you like in
Hey,
the
yo. Oh,
yo
snap.
in the Johnny Mac thing, bro, every single Reformed Calvinist person came to this man's defense and was like, "Oh, we don't know all the details yet. Like, you can't just assume."
And
But
that
when
was
it,
legitimate abuse, bro. That was
bro,
legitimate abuse.
legit abuse, bro. But when it comes to Matt Chandler, right, he wants to talk about social issues, bro, and how it intersects with the gospel and actually God changing this world, bro. But like, I want to hang him. It's just like it don't matter if there's another information. It's like, oh, bet he did it. Bet hang him, bro. Get him out of here. He's a false
I'm
teacher. Step
telling you,
down.
bro. I'm telling you, that has to be it because it's like when you think about it, bro. Matt Chandler's really solid on multiple issues. You know, you're talking about abortion rights. We're talking about defense of the gospel. Everything. Pretty much, he's very very conservative on majority of issues. But he
Yeah.
is one of these celebrity quote unquote pastors that do stand up for racial inequality. And I've seen all the heresy hunters call Matt Chandler a woke, quote unquote, woke Christian. I'm like,
Yeah.
nah, man, that ain't it. You know, that ain't
Bro,
it.
it's just like literally probably the day that this came out, bro. You had all the heresy on the chance to be like, I bet we about to make some bread today.
Yeah, they cashed in, bro.
Like it's so crazy, bro, and it's so wild how it's just like you really want to see this man fall because you don't like a certain thing that he's talking about.
Yeah.
But that happens it's
In
weird.
Christendom, right? In Christendom.
Yep, only like
Only in Christendom. Nah, but you know, that's crazy, bro. Because like, obviously, we are people too, and we fall short all the time, right? But it's like I feel like us as a podcast, right? I feel like we've done really good at let's say like not pulling down people that disagree with us, right? Like let's talk about like the day like the Michael Todd John we talked about earlier. I think that was season 1, right? With the spitting in the face and everything. Like I feel like that same thing with like the Stephen Furtick stuff that we've put out. Like I feel like all that we've handled it really well. We haven't really dunked on these guys. We even say like pray for them, pray for them. And it's like, yeah, I feel like a lot of Christendom isn't like that, bro. They really just want to see people fall, bro. Like for whatever reason that may be. I don't know. Clicks, clout.
Honestly, it's like honestly in the YouTube, I guess in the YouTube Christian influencer space, right? That's really what it is, right? I think it's really for clicks, for clout, to get your numbers up or whatever. You can mask it as a sense for wanting to fight for biblical truth or to protect the church. But to be honest, most of y'all not pastors. Like we're not pastors, right? What, like you want to defend the church that you're not even I don't know, bro. It really bugs me, bro. And it's like you really have nothing better to do with your time but to tear this person down on social media that you don't even know personally. First of all, you're not even a part of the local church body, bro. So it's just like, if anything, those people in that body have more say than
what you're saying on the internet,
basically, right? Like, why should I, as a person, like a lay person that is listening to a person on YouTube that I don't even know and critique them, and or not in a sense critique them, but say like, oh, bet this person's a false teacher because he did this, this, and this. It doesn't make any sense. Like,
at all. It doesn't make any sense at all, bro. And it's like, yeah, man. It's like they're like prowling, bro. They're like prowling for content. Yo, it's funny. I was in my my class this week. My seminary course that I'm taking.
Hey, we out here seminary class on deck. You know what I mean?
Yo, for real, bro. Don't let our team leaders hear that though. Hey, yo, chill.
Yo, chill. I take this guy off of Facebook now, bro. Come on now.
No, but yeah, I was in my class, bro, and it's a class called Ancient. The history of ancient and medieval philosophy, right? And we were studying Pythagoras, right? And I'm reading the book, bro, and my man Pythagoras really said, yo, most real people who think what he used this word, he used slavish. I don't even know what that means, slavish. But I think it means like some negative connotation, right? He's like most slavish men search for clout by hunting and fishing. And I'm just paraphrasing here, and he's like, real men study math. I was like, yo, you gotta tell these heresy hunters, go study math, yo. He's like, they pursue with their geometrical philosophizing minds or something like that. He said, I was like, yo, Pythagoras mad funny, bro.
out here throwing shots from the ancient world, bro. He
said, go figure out the hypotenuse, bro. He's like, you out here with the wrong values in life, bro.
Hey, yo, I'm dead. So I guess the next question to ask, right? Do you think that Matt Chandler and his elders avoided further damage by, like, in a sense, catching this early, right? Because, like, I mean, it. I don't know the relationship between him and the woman, right? But if it was anything that was kind of like, buddy buddy, whatever,
Yeah,
did
yeah.
they catch it early and they kind of avoided I guess, like, a disaster ahead of time?
Um, I think it was a good guide, a guideline, like, because especially since there was no romantic or sexual like intent in the messages. I feel like this woman, who did feel offended, the friend of the girl who was DMing him, right? I think she was the only one offended in this whole situation, right? But the fact that she could. I feel like she could have went to the elders if she really had a concern. Because if Matt Chandler was an honest person, who's to say he would have went to the elders, right? He
Yeah,
he he could
yeah,
he could have just swept it on the rug. But he felt the conviction. He brought it to the elders, and I think the elders did a really good job, right?
for sure, yeah.
Because it really could have led to more. It really could have been more detrimental, but they did what they had to do. And yeah, I think we're better for it. I think we need to see this more in the church.
Yeah,
Matt Chandler isn't above the church structure because he's Matt Chandler. Like,
for sure.
he has to go through the same process as a local church pastor would, right?
Yeah,
And he felt deep remorse. Even though he didn't see anything wrong, he at least felt deep remorse, or for the action, right? Even though it may have not necessarily been that way for him in the first place, or even if it wasn't his intent in the first place, right?
for sure.
So I think, yeah, the church did a good job. Matt Chandler did a good job. He let his wife know. He didn't keep a secret from her. He contacted the elder board immediately. They just did a good job all around, I think.
Yeah, I think at the end of their at the end of their statement on their website, or in the Matt Chandler when he was talking about it, right? They commended this woman for being brave and courageous for bringing this up to Matt Chandler and to his face, honestly, and saying like, "Hey, I think this is wrong," whatever. So, like, I think for me, if they view it as a good judgment of like, okay, bet this was good for this woman to do so, I'm not gonna say like it wasn't right. I think in my flesh, I'm just like, what? This is like
She
this is
need to
really
mind her own business, right?
honestly, bro. I'm like, first of all, like, if everyone knows about it, right? Like, why are you tripping, right? Like, why are you upset that like he's like talking to this woman that is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
really, it's platonic, right? It's just like in my mind, and just where I'm going to. This is where sinners only, right? It's just like you hate it, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you want that you want the clout, you know what I mean? You want the attention. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm not
She
saying that's
collecting
actually what
a
you
check
wanted.
from Village Church. Is that what you're trying to say, bro? You
Hey,
going on
yo.
record saying that, bro?
Nah, bro.
Say no, say no.
But no, but in reality, I do think that they did handle it well, right? I think that they kind of prevented disaster, right? And I also think that they are an example for other celebrity pastors, right? Like, because like in a way, you see Matt Chandler, right? He has this big platform, but
Yeah.
he's not using it for clout, right? He's not using it. He's not above reproach or anything like that, because like he has a big social media influence and all these followers on Instagram and a big YouTube presence, whatever. Is like he's held under the same standard as everyone else is, right? And for the elders to go by the Bible, right? The biblical authority, like, and be like, hey, like, we think this is like the direction we should go.
Yeah, yeah.
I think they did do a good job. So I agree with you for sure.
Yeah, bro. It's funny. Matt Chandler is 48 years old, bro. That man
Jeez,
looks like he's like 28, bro. That man
for
don't
real.
look at no 48, bro.
That's not good.
Yo, what's the skincare routine, bro?
Bro, I don't know, bro. You sure he not mixed, bro? Like, cause
Hey,
that good Asian, bro. Come on, bro. Yo, Matt Chandler might be mixed, bro. He might have like one, like, just a little bit of like, some color in them, but whatever. That's speculation.
That's like Elijah, man. When Elijah did his 23andMe, that John came back like 90% Nigerian, bro. That's kind of crazy. He ain't
Bro,
got no relatives in Nigeria though.
not at all.
Yo, how that even happen?
Bro, honestly, bro, I probably got some like long lost cousins, bro, over there, bro. But like, I'm not gonna know them
Yeah.
unless they know Jesus. I'll meet them in
Word,
like
word.
heaven or whatever. But it is what it is.
Word.
But I think this does kind of speak to a bigger issue, right? And I think I'm stealing this from Ruslan, right? Kind of, he talked about men and women being friends, right? And it brings up the question, like, can men and women actually be friends, like in their adult lives, right? Because like you have one side that says like they can, right? And it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter. It can be a platonic relationship, but then you have the other side that's just like, you can't really be friends with the opposite sex.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you think about this and kind of in that framework then?
So I heard somewhere that they said that if this was a conversation with a woman that he knew in real life, I think that some people would have reacted different on the other board. But the fact is that he didn't actually even know this woman. Um, that's why
Oh,
they said the
okay.
familiarity is kind of weird because it's like you don't know this woman. Why are you talking to her in this way? Like she's your friend for years. Like I think it might have been a little bit different. If it was a woman that he knew,
Okay.
um, you know, it mightn't have been that weird, right? Especially if given the content of the messages. But yeah, I mean, I feel like there's always that danger, right? That specifically Christian males have to, stay away from. I interned at this one church, and they made us actually sign a document, talking about their policies of men and women, and their policy was pretty. I honestly really appreciate it. It says a man and woman can never be alone in the same room at the same time. There always had to be at least a third person
For sure.
there, or yeah, multiple people there, because they said, they don't want any scandals coming out about their church and this and that. So same thing with students, right? Like there, you could not be one-on-one with a student. You had to have either another person serving with you there or multiple students there, right? Like because they want, they want to put these guidelines and these safety rails there for the people of the church, but also the reputation of the church, the elders, the workers at the church. Like, yeah, you just always have to exercise caution. Obviously, I think there's a lot of different social dynamics that go into it, but the most important thing is to exercise caution.
For sure. I think I'm having trouble a little bit because it's like, is that like if people are like, saying like, hey, we can't be friends, like not talking about me and you, right? Like me and you, we're married men, right? Like I don't think like I know my wife would not appreciate like, me being friends with like, especially like a single woman, right? Like obviously I have friends that are women, right? But they're married, right? And if we're hanging out together, it's like it's not with them alone. It's with their husbands, or it's just with my wife. We're chilling, we're hanging out, we're having a good time, right? But I think it's kind of weird too, where it's like there really isn't a biblical like standard or like command for us not to, be friends like with the opposite sex, like platonically, right? Like actually genuinely like them being friends, right? So I think this like kind of this notion that like men and women can never be friends. Like I think it's a conviction issue, to be honest. Like if I'm keeping a bug, I'm just like it's not. It's I think it's just assumed that like if a man and woman are going to be friends, that it's always going to lead to something more.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it leads to something like, oh, like having, I don't know, having a sexual relationship or having a more than friend type relationship. Like does that always have to be the case, right? What if it's
Yeah,
just like,
yeah.
well, we just like a homie that we know for a while, right? That we like didn't we see as friends. Like, is that not okay? Is that not allowed?
Yeah, so I don't know. I like for me, like I feel like majority of my friends like in the past have been women,
Mm,
like just I've always had friends that were girls and I always hang out with them. Nothing ever like it was never an issue, right?
for sure,
But one thing I have learned in the last couple years is that not that I anything happened or I needed to do it, but the thing is I realized that there's some type of like strength in the brotherhood.
for
Um
sure. Yeah,
you're part of that group chat too. I have you in that group chat, the brotherhood, right?
yeah,
Literally, I don't know, like there's just like I don't know, there's some value, some intrinsic value in the brotherhood. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like I've always had friends, I've always been friends with females growing up and everything, but for some reason, once I started putting value into the brotherhood, I was just like everything changed. Like everything changed. The way that I treat other people around me, the way that I act, the way that I talk, everything. Like it helped me just be so sharp. And like honestly, like my church did in 2019 did a men's conference, and that was like the major theme, just protecting the brotherhood.
Yeah.
And it showed all these stats with men helping men, how it could actually just change the world. And yeah, man, I seen so much benefit from it. So yeah,
Yeah.
bro, just
No,
give some respect to that brotherhood.
no, I agree. I think having other men in our lives, bro, I think it's important, right? I think it's a good way to grow, right? Like having men that actually like know you, actually want to see you grow and become
Yeah,
the
yeah,
man
yeah.
that God's calling you to be, right? I think it's important, right? We should have that, right? It's like honestly, if all of our friends like would be women, I don't think that's honestly healthy, right? Not saying that it's not okay, but I don't think it's
Yeah,
healthy,
yeah.
right? Like because like you're not gonna get the same like challenge or rebuke or confrontation or kind of fellowship that you would have with other men compared to with just women, right? Like, I mean, it's just I don't see it, right? I think like it's just something like that it is in us where it's like, oh, we need other men to grow. We need other men to learn from, especially older men, right? Like we have older men in our lives that we're just like they've gone through life, right? They know they are more, I guess, mature in their walk with Jesus, right? That's something that we can like learn from them, and I guess in how we develop to be a man, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
we talking about manosphere, bro. Like the brotherhood of Christian brothers, bro. That's probably the most important Christian manosphere that we need. You know
They
what I
gonna
mean?
cancel
Like,
you now, bro. They gonna cancel
yeah.
you, bro.
But I'm
yo,
saying,
yo, just say it like it is, bro. Yo, you like hanging out with men because you could throw hands, bro. Just say it,
yo,
bro.
honestly, bro, like honestly, bro, if we talking about like selling the issue, bro, all you gotta do is like throw hands, bro, and you right the next
It's
day.
over, right?
Like,
Hey, yo, we
like,
not endorsing violence. Disclaimer,
bro,
disclaimer. We not endorsing violence. Elijah,
bro,
this is a joke.
yeah. Bro, I saw no, yo, I saw on Instagram, bro. I was watching the video, bro, of these two dudes throwing hands, bro. They were friends, bro, and they were just getting right, bro, at the gas station. They had some beef, whatever. They duked it out. At the end of the day, bro, they were like, "Yo, we good?" And they was like, "Yeah, bro, we good." Clapped it up, done it. I'm like, it's all that simple. It's that simple, bro. We just got to throw hands, and we over it. Obviously, it is a joke, but I'm just saying, I think that's how simple men are, bro. Like, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. No, and I feel like it challenges you, because I feel like when you do hang out with the brothers more, I feel like your natural tendency is to kind of not, like, if you have an issue, like just not say anything, right? Just kind of shy away from it. But I feel like the more and more and more you hang out with the brothers, it really builds that bone up, like if you
Yeah.
have to settle a dispute, you talk to them, you bring it up to them, you don't shy away from it. And the same thing with women hanging out with women, right? I feel like it there's something in that, right? There's something
Mhm.
intrinsically valuable about that relationship with a woman, shepherding a woman discipling a woman teaching a woman, right? So it's like
Yeah.
you learn, you learn how those traits that you're supposed to learn, right? How, like, men, how to be mild mannered, right? Just
Yeah.
cool, calm, and collected. Like, don't just react on your anger, right?
For sure. Yeah.
um yeah, so I don't know, there's value in that.
For sure. Yeah, nah, that's facts. I think in another issue probably this like kind of speaks into, right, is that like Matt Chandler, obviously he has a public platform, right?
Yeah.
So like everyone has eyes on him, like especially when he's preaching, teaching, whatever, right? I think the question is, right, should this be an issue regarding Matt Chandler? Should this be an issue for the whole church at large, or should it just be the local church that's worrying about kind of what Matt is going through at this moment?
Wait, I see Tara Lynn just commented. Let me pull up the comment and then we'll go into that. It says, and to be honest, women need to respect other women. I could never be friends with a man who is married, engaged in any other type of relationship without knowing his significant other, and I want her to trust me too. That's
That's
valid, bro.
that's valid. That's
That
fact. You can't get
and that's
facts,
facts. That is Tara Lynn. That is that's how Tara Lynn operates, and I think there's value in that.
bro. We should have a part two on this and have Tara Lynn come on. Like
Yo,
Tara Lynn, you're welcome
we
on the
have
pod.
Ashley and Christine be the host, bro, and we just sit
Let's-
back, bro. We just sit back. You
bro.
feel
We
me?
can have a we can have up to 10 people on this pod, bro. Like, let's get
Yeah,
it.
we got
bro.
that StreamYard money now, bro. Come on, son.
No, but that's facts though. I think me and Ash, we have this conversation probably like every so often, right? Where it's just like she's like, I wouldn't want to see you be like, you can't be friends with another single woman, bro. Like without her knowing, right? It's just weird. Like, you know, like being in a friendship that my wife doesn't know about is just like I want her to be able to trust me. So it's I'm not walking on those waters, bro.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man. To answer the question, I feel like this should be a local church issue, you know, but given the nature, it's funny. I've seen articles by Christian sources, like literally talking on all these crazy things. And I'm like, and then it'll be like something sexualized, scandal, church pastor. That's the title, right? The first line is, "This was not a sexual scandal." Like, I'm like, so why y'all putting that in the title? You know what I'm saying?
Clickbait.
Yeah, that's I feel like that's beyond clickbait. That's just lies, bro.
Yeah, facts. I mean, honestly, bro, like I think I'm seeing like the like I'll be peeling through comments and stuff, and people are like saying like, because Matt Chandler has a public platform, he needs to be publicly critiqued.
So you Ruslan now, bro.
I mean, honestly, if it's public, like I think it is up for debate and critique and everything like that, right? But as far as like demanding that this man like step down and all these other things, I think that's like something that the elders and the people of the church, like, they have more of a say than a social media platform content YouTube.
But if it was Johnny Mac or John Piper,
it's
a whole different conversation, right?
A whole different conversation. You know what I mean?
We need more details. We need more detail. We can't say anything.
Bro, like, I mean, like, honestly, bro, when I think the person that did Johnny Mac's, like, that broke the story on him or whatever, was Julie Roy's, right? Bro, she put up I think a YouTube video from Matt Chandler, like, talking about his stuff, bro. She had nothing bad to say about him. I don't know if there's any bias in that or whatever, but it wasn't something that she was like, oh, this is like scandal or anything. She was pretty much like, hey, Matt Chandler did a good job in addressing this.
I mean, I'm not endorsing her or anything like that, but from like her content, it doesn't. There obviously probably is some level of bias, but a lot of it is really decent investigative journalism, right? So maybe she has some clickbaity stuff in there. Maybe she does have some bias, but she does a really decent job at investigative journalism. So just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, no, that's good. So I mean, man, like, kind of like with this, bro, like when it comes to celebrity pastors, right? Like, do you think that like they would benefit more if like they followed like Matt Chandler's like steps, you know what I mean? Or just like the way that everything's being handled, do you think they would benefit from this more than being, I guess, harmed by it, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, bringing it up to the elder board. Hopefully your church has an elder board. I know a lot of churches just have one pastor sometimes. Hopefully your church has an elder board, because we've seen in real time how an elder board is supposed to operate here. You know, like they discuss it, they do it in private, and then they make their public statement, right?
Sure.
Maybe some of these guys, when things like this happen, they just gotta delete their social media and go into just like whatever they have to do to you know, whether it be seek counseling, whether it be seeking counseling under a pastor, or you know, going to marriage counseling, whatever it is. They just got to take their time to go through that process, right? What's the dude from Hillsong Church right here in New York that got caught in the scandal a few years ago?
Was it Carl Lentz?
Carl Lentz. Yeah. It's funny because Carl Lentz, we kind of seen that with him. You know, we all know what Carl Lentz looks like, how he dressed. He's kind of like the image of this modern day mega church, right?
Sure, yeah.
And it's funny because one of my friends, he actually took a picture with Carl Lentz in a church here in Jersey last year, and Carl Lentz looked like a whole different person. His hair was long beard, like he had like this hat on, and he just dressed really different. And you know, you wouldn't have known that was Carl Lentz if you really didn't listen to Carl Lentz or watch Carl Lentz like that, right? But you know, I think that's needed. Like you gotta remove yourself from social media, remove yourself from the public eye. You know, take on a disguise if you have to, if you're at that level.
Yeah,
But yeah, go through your marriage counseling. You know, go through your elder meetings, and you have to step down. You can't, you know, you obviously can't be a pastor, but like you have to, you know, just take your time to heal and seek repentance and truly repent, you know, not just a
yeah.
slap on the wrist and then you go and do something else, you know, like but really take your time and sit back and heal and repent, you know.
For sure. I think honestly, I just had this thought now. It's just like if we all look at our own hearts, right? Like we're like people are harsh on Matt Chandler, like they're saying all crazy things about him, right? But it's just like how many interactions do you have with other people like that? You know what I mean? Like how
Yeah,
many like that are unguarded, like you're not on a social platform, right? But if people are being honest and they're looking at themselves, it's just like, oh, bet like the kind of conversations that he was probably having that was just they were joking as friends, right? Are probably it's probably the same thing that these people do with other people of the opposite sex, but they don't bat an eye because they're not pastors or
yeah,
leaders or whatever. Even people that are just leaders in the church but aren't pastors, right? They probably do that very same thing without thinking anything's wrong with it. But
yeah.
because
Like
it's
you
Matt
post something
Chandler,
on your story, somebody comments on it, and it leads to a conversation, you know, like
mhm.
yeah, it's not anything because yeah, he was unaware, bro. He was totally unaware that he was doing anything wrong.
Yeah, and I think I mean if like he was doing something wrong, right? I think it like the Holy Spirit is working right and like bringing together the elder board and being like, hey, Matt, like you may not have done anything wrong, but there might be something like wrong with you internally that you got to take a break for it and look at it. And it's like, oh, well, that's actually like that actually points to the reason for elders, but not just elders, but community, right? If you
Yeah,
have other people that are in your life, right, that are looking at you and you're saying some things, you're doing some things that people are like, bro, I think you're kind of wild, and I think that's good, and I think that we should have that example. Not if you're a pastor or a leader or whatever, like same thing, but like even if you're just a person like a Christian person following Jesus, like you need people to be other iron for you, right? Iron sharpens iron, right? So it's
yeah,
just
yeah,
like to be a mirror to you, obviously like pointing to God's word, right? But like but like actually looking at the situation and being like, hey, like you need to take a break. I
yeah,
think we
yeah,
all should to probably if not look at that example and be like, okay, bet like what's in my heart that
yeah, yeah.
other people like should be knowing about, I guess. So
Yeah, yeah, like an example of that. Obviously, this is not to the extent because you know we're not pastors, we're not churches, we're not a church, but like Josh, right? Josh needed a break. He needed a break
yeah,
from doing stuff, so he was like, "Yo, I can't, you know, I can't tap in with y'all for a minute. So like, you know, I'm gonna be gone. You know, you know, I gotta take this time to kind of adjust to my new situation in life and take off. So you know, that's wise, that's wisdom. You know, like yeah, so you
yeah,
don't end up burning out, you don't end up doing the wrong things. You know, like you don't end up saying yes to things that you can't do, you know, like
for sure.
you take that time, you're respectful with it, and you take your break, you know.
Honestly, healthy boundaries are important, bro. Like I think like in our honestly, this is like what I've been noticing, right? In like kind of our generation, right? Is that like people are really set on boundaries, right? Especially when it comes to like work or just doing certain tasks, right? It's just like I'm noticing the trend of people setting boundaries of just like, yo, like I'm not doing that because like this of A, B, and C to pretty much have a healthy type of mental state, right?
Yeah,
Whether
yeah,
or not that's extreme, I think it's a really good way of being like, hey, like I'm human, I'm finite, I can't do everything. I'm not doing that. And if something requires me to overexert myself, that's going to push me to a state that I'm going to be mentally exhausted and to
yeah,
end
yeah,
up pushing me into something, doing something that I don't want to do. Saying no is okay. You
yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean? I think honestly, like that can be taken to extreme, and you're saying no to everything just because
yeah,
your mental health was like, first of all, some things like you should probably be doing because like it's probably good for you, right?
yeah, yeah.
But obviously following an example of setting up healthy boundaries and being like, hey, this isn't okay for me to do. I'm not doing it just for my sake to be useful in the long run. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I guess an example of it is like my church, right? Like, I'm part of the prayer team at my church. But they had asked me to, you know, to help out with lights and sound, and I told them no, right? Not because I didn't want to do it, but like I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. I'm late to church every week, right? Every single week. So it's better. I think it's more faithful for me to give a no because I literally know I'm gonna be late to church every single week. So I'm like, if I say no, that's more faithful than me saying yes and
Mm.
then missing it, right? But
Yeah,
I could say yes to prayer team because prayer team's after, right? Like after the
for
service,
sure.
yeah, they got a prayer team to the side, go off. That's different, right? So I'm always gonna be at the end of the service.
Yeah,
But yeah, man, I think you just definitely you need those healthy breaks, healthy Sabbaths. We see. Shout out to Michael Todd, bro. This is a big thing that Michael Todd spoke on earlier this year, or earlier
God, you
last year.
listen to Michael Todd, bro?
I
Dang, you got
heavy. I used to listen to him heavy,
heresy, bro.
bro. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I used to listen to Michael Todd last year, like every single week, bro. I'm gonna just be honest with y'all, bro. But this is a big part of his teaching. He always talks about like Sabbaths are much needed because God actually put that natural principle of Sabbath into the earth, right?
Yeah.
You can't use the same dirt for the same crop every year, right?
Mm.
You can't plant corn in this corner of your farm every single year because the dirt's going to be used up. You have to one year put squash in that corner and put the corn in the other corner, right? And you have to move it around because the soil needs to replenish. It needs to get that type of Sabbath, right?
Yeah.
You can't run a marathon without training because you need to train, rest, train, rest, train,
Sure.
rest. You can't work more than 48 hours. You got to go to sleep. This principle of Sabbath is within everything. Your car can't run forever. You got to put gas in it. Like
You got to get the oil change. You know what I
that's what I'm
mean?
saying. So it's like we see this natural principle in pretty much everything. Everything like everything has a pattern of rest and then doing rest, doing rest,
Sure.
doing. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. God gave us this natural principle, and I think it's something we must apply to the church. We must allow our pastors to go on vacation. They got to take those yearly trips. Those monthly Sabbaths, the weekly Sabbaths. Even if it's for a few minutes. Super important.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's good. That's good, bro. So I guess for closing thoughts, bro, what do we do going forward? Right? How do we think about this? Like, I think honestly, like in a month, like all this Matt Chandler stuff is gonna go away. Honestly,
Yeah,
I think it's just gonna go into the background until something else pops up.
yeah,
But
yeah,
like,
yeah.
what do we do that aren't attendants of or members of Matt Chandler's church? Like, what do we do in going forward? I guess.
I guess make sure whatever church you're attending, it's not some centralized eldership. If your church is just one person as the elder, or maybe even just two people, pray about that. That the Lord will give you some wisdom on this issue. You need to be at a church with a strong elder board where the elders are praying together, the elders are walking together, doing life together. Eldership is I think one of the most important things in a church. Healthy elders will preach the gospel the correct way, and if they aren't, they'll pull each other off, and they'll correct them. Make sure that your church has that system like that in place. I feel like in this era of the digital church and TikTok church and all of the above, like we have lost the value of the local church.
For sure, yeah.
And we see that so many places in the Bible have how the church is supposed to operate, what it's supposed to have. Ephesians, Titus, Acts. You could go anywhere in those scriptures, and you will see how many times they lay out an order and a structure for the church and how it's supposed to operate. And yeah, I think if you don't have a church, get planted in the church, make sure there's a healthy leadership. And obviously you don't know what is healthy, what isn't, but look into what the Bible is saying about elderships, who should be running a church, and try to be under good teaching of that, and yeah, because the elders are supposed to be out there stewarding and shepherding the flock. So you want to be fed the right way.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's good, man. I think probably just one of the things that I would say to this, like going forward, is that mind your business, right? Like I think, like honestly, like in the words of Paul, right? Like he says pretty much mind your business, right? Like, it's just like you don't need to, like, I understand for content, for clicks, whatever. I think get your bread, you know what I mean? But honestly, at the end of the day, though, like you don't need to sit up there and be gossiping about like this situation, especially if there are like no really crazy details. that are out there, right? If the elder board is being trusted, right, to handle a situation, then I think you should be able to trust that local congregation to be able to handle that situation the way
Yeah.
it needs to be. Like it doesn't need you. Like I understand, like we're the universal church, right? We should be whatever, right? But honestly, you gonna crack down on millions of people, right? Like you gonna crack down on every single person. Like if that's the case, you need to be keeping a watch out, be an investigative journalist, and go after every single person that you think is not living by the biblical standard that you think is supposed to be held, right? So honestly, it's just my business, right? You don't need to gossip about it, right? Because at the end of the day, right, it's just like Elijah standard version. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. I like that. But it's like, yo, like at the end of the day, like we always like it's always like when you stand before Jesus, right, we're going to be held accountable for every word that we speak and every thought that we have, right? And if it proves true that nothing is actually happening with such a situation that you're gossiping about, you're going to be held accountable for that. Like, not
Damn,
saying
you convicted me, bro. You convicted me because I gossip heavy, bro. Bro,
honestly, like I mean, regardless, like the blood of Jesus cleanses us and wipes away every sin, right? So like we are in relationship with Jesus, right? We're going to be with him after this, right? But that doesn't discount the stuff that we're going to be held accountable for the actions that we do in this life. You know what I mean? We will be rewarded, whether it be for good things or bad things, right? Like everything that's bad will be burnt up, everything that's good will be held, right? So it's like, at the end of the day, you just mind your business. Like,
yo,
honestly,
what you think those heresy hunters are gonna have to be held accountable? Hey,
that's another part of another day. You know what I mean? Like, but
if I was a heresy hunter, I'm deleting my channel right now, bro. Honestly,
bro, it's like I feel like it's gonna be like mad awkward, like when you stand before Jesus, bro, like. And like he pulls up the YouTube channel and you just see all these things said about all these different people that are going to be with you in heaven. It's like, oh, dang. Oh, your blood is covering him too. And I was talking about him, bro. I would feel so bad. You know, I would just be like, dang, that's kind of I feel salty, bro. That's why, like, yo, I gotta be careful. You know what I mean? Because you just never know. You know?
Word. Yeah, man. And with that being said, that's been it. You know, we've been real. Shout out to the Sinners Only podcast. If this type of content, make sure to subscribe, like, comment, hit us up on social media. Go mess with us on TikTok, IG, Reels, YouTube Shorts, because it just helps us so much. You know, we've been getting a lot of love out there. And I got some good news for y'all. Your boy Josh is going to be back very, very soon.
Hey, yo, I didn't even know that. Let's get it.
Yeah, it's exclusive, bro. Exclusive zone.
Our resident theologian is coming back, and we cannot wait. You know
Josh told me, he'll be back before the end of the month. That's what he said. So,
yo, let's get it. That man, big stepping now, bro. That man out here got a new job, bro.
He got money like that. Yeah. How y'all think we got StreamYard Pro? I mean,
yo, we using all his bread, bro. He's supporting the pod, bro. We think it's out of our own money? It's not.
Yo, Josh said, we don't need no Patreon, bro. I got y'all, bro.
Yo, let's get it. He balling like that, bro. Like,
yo, if y'all could leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, if you're listening to Apple Podcasts, that would be really good. Give us those 5 stars if you enjoy. Follow the podcast on Spotify. All of that, and we'll see y'all next week.
Yes, sir.